It's time. WordSesh 4. Let's do this. Scotty!
Hey! That just happened. Holy crap. Not much, dude. This is exciting stuff. I can't believe we're doing this again. I can't believe you drag me into this stuff every single time.
You know, it's not me doing the dragging, Mr. Scotty B. It is you doing the dragging, and we're back for WordSesh 4. Feels like it's been a long time.
It has. So we
very long time.
We skipped, I guess. Well, it's been about a year. I guess it was Christmas 2014. I think we talked about trying to do 2 a year, but it never happens.
I like how you round. It's about a year, you know.
I have a mic this time, so hopefully it's I came prepared. You don't have a mic.
I don't have a mic, but do I sound okay? Am I coming in?
You sound great.
That's the beautiful thing about WordSesh. It's a little bit rough around the edges, but that's part of the fun, right? It's we're all sitting at home. You probably don't even know if I'm wearing pants. And that's the beauty about WordSesh, you know? We're just having fun doing this remotely. We got some pretty awesome stuff lined up, which we'll be talking about here in a little bit. But quick introductions for people that don't know you, Mr. Scotty B. Why don't you tell everybody who you are and what it is you do?
Yeah, so what do I do? I guess it's changed every WordSesh, actually, from Mood Themes to Human Made. Now running my own business out of where I moved to, Kvinesdal, Norway. Running a co-working space here as well. Lots of exciting things happening. It's pretty crazy, Brett. I was just thinking about it before we started. So it's almost 9 years since I joined Web Dev Studios, I think.
Woo!
That's right.
Now you're dating.
Yeah, pretty strange. So it's pretty cool that we're still good friends, Brad. We're still doing this fun stuff.
Associates, I guess.
Yeah, I hope that it's mutual.
It absolutely is. Yeah, if you think about it. So I'm still at Web Dev Studios. It's a company I founded back in 2008, doing 100% WordPress work. And Scott was our first developer that we hired very, very early on. So we kind of, kind of grew up together, learning WordPress together. Like back in the day, I didn't really know it either.
I didn't know anything.
We kind of sat down and we're figuring it out together. So it's been, it's crazy to think it's been 9 years. I actually hadn't thought about how long it's been.
I know.
But it's pretty fun ride. I had a lot of fun. It's neat to see where you're at now. It's neat to see where I'm at in web dev and honestly just the WordPress community in general. And the type of stuff that we're doing now, like WordSesh, and we look at WordSesh started back. The first WordSesh one, little trivia here, was April 13th, 2013, so over 3 years ago. And this event, in my mind, at least what I'm aware of, really kicked off kind of the live streaming event space or at least around WordPress, that I've seen. There's been a number of events that were live streamed like this in the past few years, very similar to WordSesh, but very, maybe very specific topics. I know there's one around like the translation day they did, but it's cool because it kind of validated that this idea can work and work in a really well way, provide a lot of value for anyone that wants to join in for free during the event or after the event. And that was all you, Scott. This was all your.
No. You say that every time, and I was gonna try to not let you say anything like that this time. It's obviously I do put a lot of hard work into this, but I think that WordSesh is kind of just a good testimony to what the community is about. And not everything of the community. We do have big events now. We do have WordCamp US, which is pretty massive, and WordCamp Europe, and things are big. But I do like to pull it back a little bit and have things be a little bit more real, a little bit less less prepared, I guess, in a way, and kind of more of like just what you would see, like talking to people. And I think you can kind of share. That's what I like most about WordCamps, even, and anything in the community and meetups, is just the casual talk. So I mean, you do get people preparing for these kind of talks, but I think the nice thing is that you don't have to feel like you need to prepare for a 45-minute talk at a WordCamp, for example. This is what makes WordSesh unique. I think John Jacoby's talks are amazing, right? Like that's like him sitting by a fireplace just speaking his mind, whatever is on his mind, and that doesn't happen anywhere, right? Like I mean, if you hang out with him, that's what you're going to get. But you can actually get people to see this. Not only live, but then recorded after. And I would like to encourage, that we try to do that more often. Is like an opportunity for people to just listen on, what we're thinking about, what we're talking about. It's more like I guess you would call like what you do with, podcasting and stuff like that, or just online radio shows and a marathon of that. I like the roundtable discussions; those are really cool. So I think that WordSesh is, it's unique in a way that hopefully we can get more, just relaxed talks, interesting thing, people talking in chat. People are doing stuff. They're maybe distracted. They're watching, maybe they're watching TV or playing a game simultaneously. I just think that it's pretty neat that it's a little bit more relaxed and laid back, and it's free. I like that it's not anything around ads. We don't pay. I mean, there's no money involved for this. We're all doing it just for.
Whoa! Now I thought I was going to get a little.
I send you some Norwegian chocolate sometimes, maybe.
Hey, now we're talking.
Yeah. It all comes with a price. I know, Brad.
But you're right.
But it's fun.
Think about it. It's high tech in a way, but it's low tech in a way, right? A great point about John and the presentations he gives around fireside chats. You're not going to get that on a stage, and the stage isn't the right place for that type of presentation, that type of session. But this is, and a hallway chat or a coffee or a drink with John after a WordCamp or during a WordCamp. That's where you get that kind of thing, and that's where you really get those really interesting discussions that will never happen on stage because it's just not the right venue for it. This is the right venue, and it is fun. It is a little rough around the edges, but there's some amazing stuff coming out of it, and it's the live aspect is extremely cool. We have right now we have 80 people sign on for the kickoff, and this is kind of a weird time because it's getting later on the East Coast, Friday evening. It's really late over in Europe, so and further that direction. So it's kind of a weird time. But even having this many people right now, I know we'll probably have 200 or 300 active at any given time over the next few hours for the rest of the 24-hour cast. I mean, it just brings people together from all over the world, provides a lot of value. But then after the fact, it's like the videos, the talks are there for anyone to digest. Like even being kind of an organizer and helping with this. While we're seeing a lot of this stuff, we're not totally like taking it all in because we're behind the scenes dealing with who's next, making sure they're ready, getting people prepped, this and that. So after WordSesh, I go back and usually watch most of the presentations again, so I can really sit back and kind of absorb, what they were talking about and what the presentations were. And it's just amazing the kind of quality coming out.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm not even awake right now, so I don't really remember any of this until I rewatch it because every year it's for some reason I tell myself I'm going to sleep the day before and then I end up not sleeping at all. So
you're terrible, and you won't even sit there in the event. So I guarantee you, people, you tune in 24 hours from now, you will think Scott is drunk off his ass because he will literally be giggly and high and who knows lack of sleep.
It's fun.
We got people tuning in from all over. We have, we talk about being later odd times. We got Steven over in Melbourne, Australia. It's 10 a.m. bright and early for him on Saturday. So that's a great time over in Australia to be watching. We got people in the UK. We got people in the US, East Coast, West Coast, already tuning in. So already just getting going. We're seeing a really good crowd here.
A lot of fun. So we do have some show notes. So we do have an agenda here. There's one thing I wish I did have was, again, I think there's a lot of emphasis on the live part of this. But you brought up that these are recorded and on YouTube as playlists, and we'll do the same with this event. After it's over, we can export everything and put it on YouTube as a playlist. I did go back about 1 or 2 weeks ago and just check on some stats. I don't remember the numbers, but pretty impressive, to see what still gets played and watched today. I've done a really bad job in the past at actually, getting some kind of aggregated site with all these videos, whether that's wordsesh.org or yeah, just putting together more of a better way to view things. I think YouTube is great, so maybe that's the best thing for that. But I wish I had numbers on that, because it is exciting to see. Again, like there's not, we don't have to put a huge emphasis on the live thing, because this stuff does live on kind of after the event. And I say that every year, that's pretty amazing, as well as that, weekend isn't the best time for people. I'm starting to realize that with, having 2 kids, you as well, Brett, having a kid, like this isn't the best time to be up right now, and taking off, but that's the same for everyone. Some people argue, is Friday the best day for this? Should it be, actually in work days and stuff like that?
There's always going to be an excuse of why a day doesn't work. I feel like a weekend's probably a little better, because if it generally you have a laxer schedule come Saturday, but you do it on a Monday, you do it on a Sunday, you do it on a Wednesday, there are always people saying it doesn't work well. So that's why, like you said, the recording is great. You pop in, you pop out. Most people don't stay 24 hours.
No.
Stay a few hours, they come back a few hours later. There'll be a few. So if anyone in the crowd listening is planning on hanging out for 24 hours, definitely let us know. We'll keep tabs. Maybe do some call outs at the end of the event of who hung out. I think last time, I want to say there was maybe 3 or 4 people that we knew of, that, including you, Scott. I wasn't one of them, that did the whole span of 24 hours without sleeping. It's a marathon.
I hibernate tomorrow.
Oh,
it's
man.
winter. It's winter here in Norway, so.
Well, looking over the schedule. So if you go to wordsesh.org and you scroll down, we have the schedule. It's current as of right now. Something might change, But just looking over the schedule, like it's a really cool array of topics. Some really great speakers. Many I know, some I don't, but I'm excited to see kind of what they bring to the table. But what, like, overall, any that really are standing out to you, Scott? Any you're super excited to tune into?
Yeah, it's just, as somebody asked this on Twitter before, and it's like this, 2-minute list, because all of them, I think they're all very exciting and unique. Again, I'm a big fan of the ones that, I've always been. For me, like a learning thing for me is I just go and do it. I find it on YouTube, and I just, I find out how to do something, right? So for me, I think those are great for some people, but for me, it's the kind of talk that would just never happen unless you made an opportunity for it, like we do with WordSesh. So John's talk, probably Aaron's talk will be exciting. David Bissett's as well. Everybody here, like the roundtable, I think WordCamp Europe with Petya and Paolo, that'll be exciting, just from me not being at WordCamp Europe, having been to the past ones, and also being kind of an American who moved to Europe, so knowing the different cultures between what I know from all the WordCamps that we went to in the States, Brad, and the crowd here in Europe. So I have some good questions lined up for them, and excited to hear what happened and how it was, and maybe get some insight on the next WordCamp Europe. Brad, I know you're an organizer of WordCamp US, so
yes.
If you have any questions, maybe we can ask them as well. All exciting. I think, again, there has been, I think the hard part is, or the amazing part about all of this actually, is that there is very, a lot of commitment to the speakers who say they're going to sign up and do it. And being an online event that's free, no strings attached, Friday night, but everyone, usually does, commit to it and I think that's really, I don't know if you want to say respectable, but I think that is an awesome thing, is that, for a free event, people are taking their time off to do this. We do have some changes in the schedule that kind of happened last minute due to, obviously, just things happen in life. And there, I think actually just some unfortunate stuff, and then some stuff that just, the schedule stuff that happens. But then again, when you have that, then people just stepping up and saying, hey, I'll do it last minute. I mean, for example, I think Mason James, I just asked him about 45 minutes ago or an hour ago, and he's going to get up at 7 a.m. and do a talk. That's amazing. Hey. I probably wouldn't be able to do that if I had to get up, but I won't be sleeping. So I
nerd out with more. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Looking over the schedule, there's just top to bottom, it's a lot of really good looking talks. Definitely John, we mentioned, he's right after us, 14 WordPress. John James Jacoby, if you haven't ever heard him speak, or maybe you haven't seen his fireside chats at WordSesh, definitely stick around right after our show, because it will absolutely be better than this hour. But looking forward to his. Aaron, obviously, giving us some bedtime stories. Aaron's a great presenter. Looking forward to that. David Bissett, he's doing WordCamp things. I think there's a kind of a Stranger Things mix going on. If anyone's familiar with the Stranger Things Netflix show that's been all the rage in the past month, so that should be cool. Matt Mullenweg is going to be on tomorrow, which is always going to be an interesting time. I'm sure he'll take some questions. Brian Krogsgaard tomorrow as well.
I'm trying to think of Brad, who here has done it.
Jeez.
Every single word session. I think, obviously, well, me and you, I don't count there, but I think Jacoby did maybe all of them.
I think John might have been in all of them. There's a few. There's a few multiples. Definitely put some stats together. Maybe we can put those together for closing remarks and cover that, because there's a few names on here I know have done more than one. I just don't know if they've done all of them. We have to go back and look at the schedules.
Pretty excited about Brian as well. I haven't seen
Brian
talk in a while. Yeah,
moving all.
I never met someone.
So I saw.
That's perfect. That's like his life. That's Brian. It's
a very entertaining presentation. I will give it that. So a topic around migrating data into WordPress sounds boring on the surface. I promise you'll be thoroughly entertained. So you can definitely check that. It's 1700 UTC, which is 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And to that note, if you get confused on time zones like we did when we were scheduling,
it is confusing.
We have a link on the website. Keep in mind that the U.S. is daylight savings time right now, Scott.
Yes, I know, man. It's been 6 years since I've been.
definitely double check your times if you're not sure. UTC can be a bit confusing if you're not familiar with it. So
there's a link on the homepage of wordsesh.org that basically converts it to your time zone if you're not on a VPN or something like that, but I'm not sure how it works.
It is. So let's kind of go back and talk about the history of WordSesh a little bit. So we kind of mentioned the first one was held April 13, 2013. So over 3 years ago, the first one. WordSesh 2, we were eager that year. We were like, yeah, twice a year. This is happening. We did it in December, same year, December 7th, 2013, in WordSesh 2. And then WordSesh 3 was a year later in December again. I think one of the reasons, obviously, we didn't do December was because of WordCamp US, you mentioned. So last December was the first official WordCamp US, the inaugural event in Philadelphia. We had around, I want to say it was like 1,600 attendees. It was a big event, one of the biggest WordCamps ever. Didn't really want to compete with that. It didn't make sense to compete with that. So it got a little bit later. We kind of want to do it earlier in the year, but it can be tricky with schedules. So here we are now. But I really like the once a year format. I think works well. Maybe we do it twice a year going forward. I don't know, but at least once a year at the very least. The overhead's pretty small.
It is. It's even, I guess this year I do have it, to say, shout out to Crowdcast. I think this is a really cool tool. And I also think that, I've been pretty close with the guy, Sai, who's CEO and kind of developed this thing. From the beginning, when we had it last time, it was kind of just in the early stages. So this platform's completely staged. First it was Google Hangouts, and you kind of push those there, whatever. But they've I think that we had a lot of influence on Crowdcast, bringing quite a big event to them and making this a tool. They saw how we would want to use it and how, other communities could use it in the same way. So stuff like, instantly, we had a troll in the chat, right, for the first time. And, the ban, he implemented a ban, you can ban people now. I think a lot of the stuff that we're doing, we did kind of helped make this an amazing tool for us. We do, I guess it was completely free other than, the website hosting, and we do pay for the plan for this, but there is no overhead. I mean, there's no, I organize WordCamp Norway, you organize a lot of WordCamps. Like there's a ton of stuff that's involved. And obviously there's something about meeting in person and, doing stuff like that. But there's a lot that if you're going to get educated or you're going to, I don't know, just take time off and talk to people, whether it's in chat, I think there's a lot that can happen here. And there's no cost involved at all, which is amazing. I was just looking, you're talking about the previous WordSesh. I pulled up the old site. So we've kept all three of the first WordSesh sites up. The links are on the homepage. WordSesh sites up. And you can see, I think WordSesh 2 was crazy. I don't even know whose idea. It's probably my idea as well. To have two tracks. Let's try that. It worked. I think it worked great. I just think that, again, this one was, we organized pretty late as well. And I think it's something about having everyone in one place, especially online, that we're all talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
I would rather have maybe 40 hours than having 2 tracks in 24.
Now, are you WordSesh? Is that what I'm hearing? It's like a marathon WordSesh. We could see how long we could go before someone actually can't stay awake anymore. I don't know. That might be a bit much, but I agree. Like WordSesh 2 was a good experiment. Try the dual tracks, learn from it. And every whether it's an event online or it's an event in person, you always want to kind of analyze what worked, what didn't. Kind of a post-mortem, just like you would on a project with a client or something, and learn from it. What worked, what didn't. Like I think what we've learned a lot is obviously keep it as simple as possible. Keep the conversations together by having 2 tracks that kind of segmented the conversations and the groups watching, which was really challenging. And the technology we're using, you mentioned Crowdcast, which is awesome. Going back to the first WordSesh where, it scheduled up individual hangouts. Everybody had separate links. We had to pop on and off, and it was like, and then everyone had to, I don't think the website was set up. You had to keep refreshing the website.
And you couldn't even schedule hangouts on the first one. I don't know if you remember that. You couldn't even previously schedule them. You had to make them on the spot.
So it was like, the next session, 10 minutes to make the hangout, invite the people, get them in there, share it. Get it on the website. We had to update the URLs on the website. Like it was very manual, and somehow it still worked. This is awesome. It's like start, stop. So yeah, Crowdcast is great. And I really like the fact that, Crowdcast seems somewhat geared towards ongoing events, weekly, monthly, whatever, versus one-off. But I think they're realizing like these one-off events where it's like once a year, or once every 6 months. There's a market for that. I think there's a big market for that. And I think they're understanding that too, which is great. They've worked with us a lot, and been really awesome. So we definitely appreciate all the help there. Yeah, man, we've learned a lot, and we're back, and hopefully this is the best one yet.
Yeah, dude. And another cool thing that's happened, I've always said in the beginning that I hope that WordSesh would inspire more like of these types of events, and actually did happen. I would hope that it's more in the future as well. But Petya and Sonia and a bunch of volunteers and presenters put together the Global Translate Day for WordPress. I don't remember when it was now, a few months back, maybe even more than that. But they actually started to use the new Crowdcast platform as we see it right now for that event, and that was 24 hours. Similar to this, but specifically for translating WordPress and the different polyglots teams. And I think that's amazing. It's an amazing way for even we're still very, I guess you would say, American and English speaking European in our WordSesh, and I think that what was cool about that was things were actually in different languages, right? And took advantage of the different time zones and having an event around that, and the different languages that would be involved. So it was really cool to watch that. I only caught a few sessions of it, and they were all online to watch as well. So I think that's very neat to see. I would still love to see more of these style events. The hard part is it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So I think for me to try to take on more, I think for me it's more of the inspiring people to do it. And to tell Petya how to do it, and I showed her. She used the old site that we had, and I walked her through all the stuff, all the notes that we had, and they did it, and they did it great. And I think that I'm more than happy, and Brad, you'd be more than happy to help other people.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mentoring role of it is important, right? Like it's just like WordCamps. Like nobody can go out and organize WordCamps in every city out there, right? But we can help each other, and we have. Like like you said, you've organized many WordCamps. I have as well. I'm always giving people advice, and I'm always getting advice. Like just because I've done a number of WordCamps doesn't mean I have it all figured out. So I try to help people when I can. People help me when I have questions. I know other organizers. Sometimes I'll ping them and be like, "Hey, what did you guys do for this scenario?" Or "What did you do for that?" Same with the online stuff. Like, let's help each other out, because it's unrealistic to expect someone like you or whoever to run all of these things. But we can help them and say, "This is what we did. These are the tools we use. This is what worked. This is what didn't work. Now you take that and kind of make it your own event." And the beautiful thing about it, it really kind of specifically to the translation day, like it really connects people from all parts of the world, which I think is probably one of the coolest things. Like a WordCamp is not all local, but it's a majority local, other than like maybe WordCamp Europe and WordCamp US. Like it's local. Like WordCamp Philly is primarily Philly area, East Coast, New York, Philly, Baltimore.
Right.
we're not getting people from Europe over to WordCamp Philly, right? And I wouldn't expect it to, but that's the beautiful thing about online live streaming video. There's no limit to what we can do and how we can connect each other and get people, one person on the opposite side of the world connected to someone else to talk about what they're passionate about in WordPress and how they're helping each other and helping the global community. So it's extremely powerful if you think about it, because it is connecting people all across the world, which you're not able to do at WordCamps, most WordCamps, other than maybe some of the bigger ones. But honestly, we go back to the cost. Like, everyone's sitting at home. If you got internet, you're on WordSesh. That's it. There's no travel. There's no hotels. There's no, you can eat out of the fridge, go grab a beer and a burger or whatever. But it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I think that's what really excites me the most about WordSesh and just these type of events is the global community and how it gets us all together. You know what I mean? Around a common theme, which in this case is WordPress and the WordPress community. It's amazing. I'm going to start tearing it up. So, at this point, I know,
so am I.
At this point, I'm not crying. It's just a little sweaty. At this point, we got to throw it back a little bit. I feel like, we've had over the years, anyone that's listened to Word or been on WordSesh or at least joined us at the initial show, we've always had a WordSesh rap.
You skipped something here, Brad, but it is one of my favorite moments.
So. What did I skip? Favorite moments? All right, what's your favorite moment?
Yeah, but you're about to play it, so
I would agree. This is my favorite moment too. We've had for the last 3 word sessions, Scott and Mr. Dre Armada put together. I was uninvolved because I'm not, lyrically.
You pressed the button.
Lyrically good.
You press the buttons. You're the DJ.
I'm the DJ. I press the buttons. I spin the tracks, right? So Dre and Scott have put together WordPress raps, and I think it's only appropriate. I'm just going to burst the bubble right now. We don't have a rap this year. I'm sorry. We don't have one. But it's only appropriate if we give a little throwback to Dre and to Scott. Fire up the WordSesh 3 rap, in case you haven't heard it. Going old school here. So you would think I would have this like queued up, ready to click, but I do not. And this is why it's so fun going live. So here we go.
Another installation of the sesh, folks. Let's kick this off. Undoubtedly delicious, it's vicious to the indies that will miss this. Just don't get torqued like instances of influenceless. Hoping they're accurate with no misses, leaving you sleeping with the fishes. For instance, it's a day of WordPress talk, that's the business. Don't try to diss this like Dre's jujitsu with your weak ass spin kicks. Congratulatory mentions are in order, according to the borderline iconic line of floating through the digital corridor. Advancing orderly and step through the floor to excite the main core of your brain matter. Open source French doors. Open them. Expand your attention, hoping it will afford more. Years of the best, 24 hours of WordPress. Magic is tragic, is manic. I'm thinking my tongue just exploded and tore. Let's match. Third session, invasions of nations. I press these words I'm saying like verbatim. How you needed them made it. To make sure that you understood the stuff that's coming through this session. The word. Welcome and relax. No taxes, just facts. No attacks and hacks. Just smart folks to the max. And the dudes from Drag Cats. Let's get it, baby. WordSesh 3. Deuces.
Oh man! So
wow.
Open up the open source French doors. I mean,
we could have tried. We would have failed without Dre.
Dre. So Dre, we love you, man. We'll get you back on the next one, but definitely gotta throw that back. He's got some skills there, man. I gotta give it to him.
And that's the third one.
That's the third one.
Yeah.
They only get worse the further we go back.
Well, more favorite moments. There's again. I'm pretty delirious when these things happen, and it's like I'm okay right now, and then after this, it just all goes downhill. But I do remember a lot of good memories for. I guess you would. I don't know if it's. I guess it's after closing remarks. For some reason, we're still up, and we would all get in a hangout. I think there would be like 10 of us. So I was just looking at the ones from last time, and nobody says anything. I think we're just laughing the whole time. And there's like everyone gets about like 1 or 2 seconds clip to say something, and everyone's just.
Nobody actually wants to say we should end this and go to bed. We're just like.
It goes back to, I guess we don't really do it anymore, but it was fun for WordSesh 1. We kind of had like everyone started kind of like hang out in back channels. So I think we had a hangout going almost the whole time.
We did.
people would jump in and out. And that was pretty cool to kind of watch and be able to talk to people at the same time. Or just, feel like you're hanging out, for example. Not even, I don't think we even said that much, but yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And I know there's other back channels too, where groups of people are kind of watching together, doing hangouts on their own while they watch it. Or I also know some, I think it was WordSesh 3, the last one. I believe there's at least 2 meetups that I know of that actually had a meetup and they got together at, I don't know if it's someone's house or an office or whatever, but they got together for a few hours and then had, WordSesh up on the projector. They were tweeting pictures at us. With their meetup group, just hang out together, talking WordPress, hanging out while they watched WordSesh and kind of interacted as a group, which I thought was a pretty clever idea. Pretty neat.
Last one for me. I mean, everything it's really good, but in terms of favorite moments, I guess, John's talks. I think, just the fireside chat and busting out the Christmas tree. I think at some point, having a tobacco pipe, it's just like, that's amazing. Just, I don't know.
Fireside chat. I mean, when you're in a comfy little chair next to a roaring fireplace, you got,
and
you maybe
something about his voice. It's soothing, and you're kind of hypnotized. Yeah.
Oh man, we're setting John up on this pedestal. He's over there like, man, there's not living up to this tonight.
But we should have put Aaron at the end because he has a bedtime story, and it's like at the beginning of WordSesh, so everyone's gonna fall asleep.
I'm excited. Aaron always. Aaron gave the keynote presentation at WordCamp Philly, and I like Aaron as a good friend and a person, and he's just a really good guy. But he really, in terms of presentations, like he really puts a lot of thought into it, spends a lot of time on it. Like every presentation I've ever seen him given, it's not a cookie cutter thing. You can tell it wasn't slapped together. It was well thought out, and it's always really engaging. Like I'm never bored. You know what I mean? Like I'm always like, just keep going, just keep going. I don't want this to end. Like, it's great. So I'm really excited to hear some bedtime stories too. As long as he doesn't put us to sleep, because we got a long day ahead of us. And he's a little early on in the schedule, I think, in terms of the full 24 hours. So yeah, he's up in just a few hours. So no pressure, guys. But
no pressure.
Don't let us down. That's all I'm saying.
No pressure. Look, they're even here. John's here. Aaron's here. Somebody's. I'm supposed to say unicorn. I think unicorn's been flying around the chat. So
Tony Press, we going down that road? No, we can't go down that road.
All right, next up, stats. We got some cool stats. You guys probably have seen it. You know it. If you don't know, I think these are some cool numbers. Again, I think these are fairly small, actually, Brad. I think we could push for this to be way bigger. Just thinking the growth of WordPress, how many people actually use it. 3,000 unique viewers for WordSesh 3. Again, that's pretty nice compared to, what I could do at a WordCamp in Norway or Meetup. I think, gathering 3,000 unique people to watch something, even if it's a glimpse of it for the live event. Again, this is not including, what happens after on YouTube. I think
bigger than any WordCamp that's ever, I think the largest WordCamp was US or Europe. They were kind of close, but 1,500-1,600 people. So that's about double what one of the largest WordCamps had.
And the cool one here, like you said, is a lot of these, when I say 89 countries, might be 1 or 2 people, but still, I look at the list of countries that are tuning in, places that some of them, I couldn't tell you, I don't want to embarrass myself, but countries I've never heard of, for example. And 2, just like, places, what is someone there listening to us talk? Like, why? That's pretty random, right? Like, I think that's pretty interesting. Like somebody somewhere, for example, a random country is listening to us talk right now and learning about WordPress and seeing that, the community is a cool thing, a cool place to be, an interesting place to be. And I love that. I love that this gives an opportunity for us to inspire people that, maybe can't, get a glimpse of the really cool stuff that's happening now, in Europe or in the US. And I know there's exciting WordCamps everywhere else, but some people in remote places or places where there isn't a community, they have an opportunity. So I think that's really neat. I'm pretty proud of the reach that we can have. The other one is, we had 45 speakers last time, around 90 to 200 per session. And it's cool, pretty interesting to see like the top countries that do tune is US, UK, Australia, Canada. I love that Bulgaria is high on this list. Norway's actually on the top 10 list from last time. I guess that might be from me just refreshing the page 5 million times and somehow getting a unique thing on Google. I don't know. I doubt that was top 10, but maybe it is. And maybe, it's such a small country.
The cities, I mean, you mentioned Bulgaria. Sofia was the top city.
Yeah.
It's viewers, right? Which amazing. That's awesome.
It reminded me that I screwed up on something there. I had just moved, I guess, or recently moved to Europe, and I'm pretty dumb when it comes to this stuff. And I think I said something along the lines, well, Sofia, where's that? Is in Russia. So sorry to you guys in Bulgaria. I hope you think that it wasn't on purpose.
I bet they're still holding on.
I think they are. Yeah, probably. But I've been to Sofia.
Sofia's up there. Melbourne is in number 2, and London's number 3. So all no U.S. cities. The highest U.S. city was New York at number 4. And I'm happy to see Philadelphia, which is where I'm at, and number 5 in terms of.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. So, but it's just you're right. It's just people literally all over the globe. So it's not just kind of centralized, and that's the point of it, right? We're not trying to. This isn't a U.S. Conference. This isn't a Europe conference. This is a worldwide conference. We want to have speakers from all over the world. That's the point. It's 24 hours. There's no point in having someone from the U.S. on at 4 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh, right.
We should absolutely have people in Europe on at that time, which is what we have. So we have people from all over the place, which is it's really neat to see these stats because they have grown and grown and grown over the last 3. Every time the last one blew away WordSesh 2 in terms of stats.
Yeah.
It's neat to see the word's getting out there. People they know it's a great event. They want to be involved either by presenting or by attending. It's fun, man. Think of it like a WordCamp. You know what? Tomorrow or whatever time it is, come lunchtime, go out and get some barbecue. Typical, WordPress fair. Get some barbecue. Come back, eat some barbecue while watching presentations. I mean, it's just like a WordCamp, but you don't have to wear pants. I'm telling you, no pants. No pants.
Beautiful.
That.
Beautiful. So I think just. While we have some time here, I don't know if we got anyone to actually do this, but we can just try it live, Brad, if you're interested. We can just call out, I think we should call out John or Aaron since we're talking about him too much and try to get him on.
We're going to give him too much time. Let's see.
Not sure if they're up for it.
John will come on and just give us maybe a quick.
Just throw him the invites and we'll see what happens. You don't need pants.
The presentation. We're doing it live.
Just so everyone knows, we're very prepared for this. Oh!
We'll see who we
Hey!
Hello?
John.
Hello.
Loud and clear. Woohoo! You made it.
Hi.
You made it.
Hi,
What's up,
fellas.
buddy?
How's it going?
One and only.
Good.
Yeah, I couldn't get my Slack 2-factor to work, so I couldn't get into Slack. I've been lurking, trying to figure out how to get logged into Slack to message someone in a panic mode, but here I am.
Here you are. Yeah.
We should live troubleshoot Slack 2-factor right now. We actually might need to turn that off because I think I saw someone else mention a problem with that too. So
No pressure.
but welcome, John. So John, you're up next, man. You're on in about 20 minutes. Our first official presentation, besides us two kind of rambling on, but
that's going to be really hard to do without giving away the entire premise of the whole talk.
Presentation
So,
only give away
in about
you don't want to tell
20 minutes, I'm going to be talking about forking WordPress, and I am excited to see you there.
And what? So, just so we're clear, what
forking traditionally is taking a piece of open source software and taking it in a different direction. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the reasons why someone might choose to do that, spiritually why that might happen, the pros and cons to doing that. I think some really good historical references to pieces of software that have been forks or forked in the past. and we'll have a pretty open and hopefully lively commentary about what that might look like for WordPress, if that was ever a thing that might happen, or has happened in the
There.
past.
Brad, he's gone. There he is. John, there he is. John, while we have you, I think it'd be cool actually to take a step back and go through some of the questions or just some of the points that we had, Brad, and ask John actually from someone who's been pretty involved with WordSesh and someone every time I ask you, John, you just you're pretty fired up and instant yes, and it's amazing to have you on again. What do you like about WordSesh? Maybe what don't you like about it? What would you change? Yeah. Why do you hate us?
So one, I have very little hate for anyone. I do have terrible road rage. Anyone that knows me, Lisa Sabin Wilson can testify to that. But I like WordSesh because it is very casual. It's a very fun and safe and different kind of event and environment. It's a place for one, it's free, which is awesome. Two, it's free to anybody that is willing and able to stick into the entire marathon run of a 24-hour thing. It's also really funny watching Scott try and stay awake for the entire 24 hours. So the point when you start getting a little ludicrous to me is pretty.
That's why everyone's funny. Here.
Yeah, there's we should actually have like a pool going for at what point, like at what hour in the 24-hour period of time do you totally lose your shit?
It's pretty soon. I'll tell you that
much. 24-hour camera just on Scott
pretty
the
soon.
entire time.
Just a quick point on that. I didn't get to talk about it much, but I remember last night I was thinking about bringing this up. I think even for me, organizing WordCamps and stuff like that, I think there's a time and a place for that stuff, and it's great. But for me personally, it's like there's just so much unnecessary overhead for what actually I'm trying to do with, say, organizing a WordCamp in Norway. I mean, there's just so much stress around sponsors and T-shirts and like logos on coffee cups, and just I don't know. I just feel like it's very unnecessary. And actually, the reason I'm there is just I want to help people learn WordPress, or show them, introduce them to people, or show them the right ways to do things. And even just have a good time. And I feel like sometimes even for me to organize a WordCamp, not that it's I'm doing it for the wrong reason, but this WordSesh kind of ticks all the boxes for everything that I actually want to do, way more than a WordCamp does for me, because it's just I feel like money's involved and unnecessary stress around people traveling in and having to stay somewhere, and it's just like what are we actually trying to do here? And then I know there's something about seeing old friends, and if it's that, like I would actually I don't say this in a bad way, but I would rather spend time, John, me and you and Brad would go I don't know, somewhere and have this kind of casual talk, right? Like that's what it's about, right? So for me at least, so that's why I think this is really special, is there's an opportunity for it to be very casual, very laid back, no money involved at all. No sponsors, no trying to sell whatever. Aaron.
I work.
Aaron.
Yeah, that's in short. Welcome, Aaron, dude. Awesome to see you.
That's awesome.
J Shrimp.
And he's wearing a bow tie.
I've got hours
I was
before
expecting
bedtime.
pajamas.
Aaron will be on at midnight.
I'm going to refresh the browser. Maybe I'll chop off.
I'll be starting at midnight, which
is
way past my bedtime, as anyone that's ever
Lights
seen
off.
my commits to core knows.
I think maybe bed.
I can imagine it's not.
We'll try with you, Aaron. Is there anything you could tell us about your talk other than the title of your talk? For a sneak preview for our
so it's just going to share a story, something that I worked on, something that's definitely not something I've talked about in public before, but kind of have shared like bits and pieces with people in WordPress hallways, at bars, at coffee shops, and kind of just tell a story. And, I think that the ending wake people up if I do put them to sleep.
Yeah, that's good for me. I'll totally zone out.
No,
I can only hope.
Cool. Brad, what's next? What do we got?
what's next? So we're gonna wrap
Fall
it
asleep now.
up. Get ready for presentation coming up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, John's gonna
So stay tuned. We'll be getting
kick it off in style. I'm excited, John. Again,
forking WordPress. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up if anyone can actually still hear me. And John will be up in 10 minutes with forking WordPress.
I think it's back. Just real quick, I have just a few notes. Just a shout out to everyone again, all the speakers.